Look at the shirt you are wearing right now, or the jeans, or the bed sheets you slept in last night. There's a very good chance that fabric started its life as a tiny white fluffy ball growing on a plant in a field somewhere in Texas, Georgia, or Mississippi. And here's what almost nobody thinks about when they pull on a t-shirt in the morning. That cotton was planted, grown, and harvested on a scale so massive and with machines so powerful that the entire process would genuinely stop you in your tracks if you saw it up close. The United States produces over 17 billion pounds of raw cotton every single year. 17 billion! And the machines that harvest it are some of the most impressive pieces of agricultural equipment ever built by human beings. Today, we are going inside the American cotton harvest. The history, the science, the machines, the people, and the reason why cotton is still one of the most important crops on the planet. Let's go. The United States is one of the top 3 cotton-producing countries in the world, alongside China and India. But what makes America different is not just the volume, it is the technology. American cotton farming is among the most mechanized, most data-driven, and most efficient large-scale crop production systems anywhere on Earth. The Cotton Belt, the region where most American cotton grows, stretches across the southern and southwestern states from Virginia in the east all the way to California in the west. But the absolute heart of it is Texas, which produces more cotton than any other state by a significant margin, followed by Georgia, Mississippi, Arkansas, and the San Joaquin Valley in California. Together, these states grow enough cotton every year to make billions of t-shirts, hundreds of millions of pairs of jeans, and enough fabric to wrap around the earth many times over. Cotton is not a small footnote in American agriculture. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry that touches almost every piece of clothing you own. Before we get into the harvest, you need to understand how cotton actually grows, because the plant itself is genuinely fascinating. Cotton is planted in spring, usually between March and June, depending on the region, once soil temperatures reach at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit consistently. The cotton plant starts as a seed and grows into a bushy plant about 3 to 5 feet tall. About 6 to 8 weeks after planting, the plant produces beautiful flowers, first white, then pink, then deep red, before the petals fall off entirely. What is left behind after the flower falls is called a cotton boll, a small green pod that slowly swells and fills with the fluffy white fibers we know as cotton. Inside each boll, the cotton fibers grow from seeds, wrapping around them in a tight packed mass. After about 45 to 65 days, the boll matures and cracks open, revealing the white cotton fiber bursting out, a moment farmers call opening. This is the moment the harvest clock starts ticking, because once those bolls open, rain and wind can damage the exposed fiber and cost the farmers significant money. Here's something most people find genuinely surprising about cotton farming. A single cotton plant produces between 15 and 20 bolls, and across a well-managed acre of cotton, there can be anywhere from 20,000 to 50,000 plants. That is potentially 1 million bolls of cotton from a single acre of ground, each one needing to be harvested at the right time. In the not-so-distant past, every single one of those bolls was picked by hand. Cotton picking by hand is back-breaking work. You are reaching into a spiky, dried boll casing, pulling out the fiber without cutting your hands on the sharp edges, moving down rows that stretch for hundreds of yards in brutal southern heat. At the peak of hand harvesting in America, millions of people, overwhelmingly enslaved black people and later sharecroppers, worked the cotton fields under conditions of extraordinary hardship. The story of cotton in America cannot be told honestly without acknowledging that history, because that history is inseparable from how this crop shaped the entire country. The mechanical cotton picker was introduced commercially in the late 1940s and early 1950s, and it changed everything. Where a skilled hand picker could harvest around 200 pounds of seed cotton in a grueling day, a mechanical harvester could pick the same amount in minutes. Today's modern cotton harvesters have taken that further than anyone in the 1950s could have imagined. The most common machine used in American cotton today is called a cotton picker, or a cotton stripper depending on the region. A cotton picker uses rotating spindles, thin, pointed metal rods that spin at high speed and grab the cotton fiber from the open bolls, pulling it clean out while leaving the plant and the boll casing behind. A single modern cotton picker can harvest an incredible 80 to 100 acres of cotton per day. A machine that takes up as much road space as a small house, moving slowly through rows of cotton, pulling out thousands of bolls per minute with mechanical precision that no human hand could match. And the cotton doesn't just fall into a pile. Inside the machine, it's compressed and formed into an enormous round module, a tightly packed cylinder of raw cotton that can weigh up to 25,000 pounds. In drier western regions like West Texas and California, a different machine called a cotton stripper is used instead. Where the picker selects only open bolls, the stripper does exactly what its name suggests. It strips everything off the plant at once, open bolls, unopened bolls, plant debris, and all. The stripper works faster and is better suited to the flat, open terrain and drier conditions of the West, where the entire crop tends to open more uniformly. After stripping, the harvested material goes through a cleaning process to remove plant debris before it moves forward. Both machines represent the same fundamental achievement, the industrialization of what was once the most labor-intensive hand crop in American agriculture. Once the cotton is harvested and formed into those massive modules, it gets transported to a cotton gin. And this is where raw, fluffy seed cotton becomes the clean, pure fiber that manufacturers actually use. The gin uses a series of saws and rollers to separate the cotton fiber from the seeds, remove remaining plant debris, and clean the fiber into what is called lint cotton. The seeds are not wasted. Cottonseed oil is pressed for cottonseed oil used in cooking and processed into cottonseed meal used as livestock feed. Nothing comes out of that gin without a purpose. From the gin, the clean cotton lint is compressed into a standard 500-pound bale, wrapped in plastic or burlap and stacked for transport to textile mills and manufacturers around the world. American cotton bales are exported to countries across Asia, Europe, and beyond, where they are spun into yarn, woven into fabric, and eventually made into the clothes sitting in stores and closets worldwide. The people behind this harvest are a combination of generational farm families who have been growing cotton on the same land for multiple generations, and a seasonal workforce that includes both domestic agricultural workers and H-2A visa workers brought in from Mexico and Central America during peak planting and harvest periods. Modern cotton farming requires a level of technical knowledge that would surprise most people, managing soil chemistry, navigating precision agriculture software, operating GPS-guided equipment, making sophisticated decisions about defoliant application timing, and reading weather data to optimize harvest windows. A cotton farmer today is as much a data analyst as they are a person who works the land. The challenges facing the American cotton industry are real and growing. Water scarcity is a critical issue across the western growing regions, where aquifers that have been pumped for decades are depleting faster than they can recharge. Climate change is shifting growing seasons and increasing the frequency of damaging weather events during harvest. Competition from synthetic fibers like polyester, cheaper to produce and increasingly present in clothing, has pushed cotton's share of the global fiber market down significantly from where it was 2 decades ago. And yet, the industry continues to adapt. Drought-tolerant cotton varieties developed through decades of plant breeding are reducing water requirements significantly. Precision agriculture technology is helping farmers apply inputs more efficiently than ever before, and a growing global consumer preference for natural fibers is creating new demand for sustainably grown cotton in premium markets. The next time you put on a t-shirt or pull a soft cotton towel out of the dryer, take 1 second to think about where it started. A tiny seed pressed into Texas soil in April, a white flower that bloomed and fell away, a boll that cracked open in October under a wide autumn sky, a machine the size of a house moving slowly through rows that stretched to the horizon, a gin that separated the fiber from the seed in seconds, a bale that traveled thousands of miles to become the fabric on your body right now. That is not just clothing. That is one of the most extraordinary agricultural and industrial journeys in the history of human civilization, happening every single season on a scale most of us never stop to imagine.